What's up, guys? It's your boy Darkskin, and today we're going to be talking about C0 Zhongli versus C6 Zhongli. Now, I have Zhongli currently C6. I used him at C0 for a bit before I C6'd him, so I do have a feel and know how he's played as far as C0 as well. Check out my last video if you guys want to see some C0 gameplay. I made a video on that. But anyways, talking about Zhongli, C0 versus C6. How good is C0? How good does it work? Can I use him at C0? Does it work? Zhongli at C0 is perfectly fine. There's not a huge difference from Zhongli C0 and C6. And I'm going to tell you guys what the biggest differences are and how you can basically make up for a lot of those differences. So, starting out, C1. Increases the maximum number of stone steals created by Dominus Lapidus that may exist. So originally he could only have one of these. With his C1, he can now have two. So why is this good, right? Now this is good because these two pillars can resonate with other things and they do not have to be near each other. I can have this resonating over here, I can have this one resonating over here. But the thing about that is you don't have to have two to complete his combo. Right? One thing that you can do, and I've been preaching this for the past week or so, is you can have one of these, and then you can also drop two meteors, and that will make up for it. Because if you guys don't know, you can only have 3 geo constructs out at any given time. If I drop another meteor, one of the geo constructs disappear. If I drop another meteor, a geo construct disappears. You can only have 3 out at one time. So even though Zhongli cannot produce 2 of those at C1, you can more than make up for it with the MC dropping 2 of his geo constructs. So now not to say that this constellation is bad. It's a really good constellation, especially if you don't use MC. If you don't use MC, you can use Zhongli's E twice and have this resonating and hitting enemies at a very large range, right? Instead of it being just this square, you can now make it 2 different squares wherever you want it to be. If you hit enemies over here, it's going to be really nice. But that's the biggest difference, right? Is that instead of using 1 meteor for the MC, you now have to use 2, which can make up for it if that's the route you want to go. Now, going on to a second one. Planet Befall, which is his ultimate, grants nearby characters on the field a Jade Shield when it descends. Now, this is a very, very good constellation because his ultimate costs 40 energy and you can get it pretty quick. But I do want to say that this isn't near as good as a lot of people think. And the reason why I say that is, if you guys don't know, his Hold E ability, which gives you a shield, goes on a 12-second cooldown. Now, if you guys don't know about the shield lasts for 20 seconds. Right? So it's on a 12-second cooldown. It lasts for 20 seconds. And now I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, if I use his Hold E, how am I going to use pillars? Well, another thing that you guys may or may not know is that his pillars last for 30 seconds. So you are able to use almost 2 E's for the duration of a pillar, right? So you can easily do something like this, I guess you could say. You can drop down a pillar, right? And let's say you had a C1, because, well, you would. You drop down another pillar. You can give him a shield and still drop down pillars afterwards in the same amount of time, right? So my shield's going to be up for 20 seconds. You're still going to have these pillars up. So you'll be able to have time to drop a pillar and then have the 4 seconds go by before your shield goes away, etc. Right? Shield just went away. I still have pillars up. So if you factor in 2 pillars and his shield, that would equal 20 seconds. So it's like 12-second cooldown, 4-second, 4-second. You get the 20-second cooldown. So you can alternate between a pillar and a shield, or if you have a C1, 2 pillars and a shield, or whatever you want to do, and you'll be perfectly fine. This one is infinitely better when it comes to multiplayer. If you're playing with like 3 other friends and you pop your ult, all 3 of your friends and you all get a shield. That's where this really, really shines. But if we're talking about just you, it's not as crazy as just cycling between pillar shield or pillar pillar shield if you need to, and vice versa, etc. So going back and forth between those is perfectly fine. Moving on to his C3. I mean, his C3 is just +3 on his E ability. I mean, that's just, it's plain and there's nothing, like, it just increases it, right? Going on to a C4, increases Planet Befall's AoE by 20% and increases the duration of Planet Befall's petrification by 2 seconds. Now, I will say, the increased 20% isn't super crazy, but it's really, really good. It's really nice. Because if you guys don't know by now, Zhongli shines when it comes to mobs and a lot of enemies. You know, between his resonance hitting everybody multiple times and creating like a wasteland of geo-constructs, and then between his ultimate, like I said, hitting everything and petrifying everything, he works really, really well when it's a lot of enemies. So getting the increase is nice. And then as far as the petrification, the petrify, this is talent level 6. It's 9 because of constellation, but you know, at talent level 8, it's like 3.8. So it goes up by like 0.1 every bit. Yeah, 0.1 by every bit. So at talent level 10, it's 4 seconds. So the petrify is really nice, getting the 2 extra seconds, because 6 seconds is a long time, right? 6 seconds is a long time, but you don't need that as much. Now, if he still had the increased damage when petrified, it would be a very big factor, but it's not as big of a factor because you don't get anything extra on top of them just not moving. Moving on to his, now this is the biggest difference. This is the biggest difference, right? When the Jade Shield takes damage, 40% of the incoming damage is converted to HP for the current character. A single instance of regeneration cannot exceed 8% of the character's max HP. Long story short, every time you get hit, you will get HP back. Now, we're in a meta where healers are really, really strong. Between Chi-Chi being the best healer in the game, Barbara being an amazing free-to-play healer, Bennett being a dumb healer with his attack boost. Like, there's a lot of healers. So it's like, this just enables you to not really have a healer and phase tank everything. Now, I mean, a lot of people run healers, a lot of people have healers, so, I mean, you don't really need this, but this is a very, very good constellation. As far as must-needs or biggest differences, like I said, C1, like, they're all really good, right? They're all big upgrades, but like I said, C1, you can kind of offset that by dropping 2 meteors from MC if you're going to be using him as a support. This right here only really matters for multiplayer, like I said. Popping ult and getting a shield yourself is kind of whatever if you're alternating between your pillar and your shield anyway. As far as how much I've used them, this is +3 on his E. This right here is probably the biggest constellation. I mean, this was just broken, right? But like, as far as like usability, like what you're going, because most people are running a healer anyway, so this doesn't really matter. But this right here is like the biggest part of it. That extra 2 seconds is super nice because they stand there, because everything in the game knockback, right? Everything in the game is a knockback, pretty much, right? If you Beto counter, knockback. If you charge attack, knockback. All of it. So them staying there and you being able to, infinitely combo them without them knocking back for like 2 or 3 times is really, really nice. But overall, C0 versus C6 Zhongli is not a very, very big difference. You will get a little bit extra damage on your E and your shield tanking durability, and you will get a little bit extra damage on your ultimate as well, as far as the +3s. But like I said, overall, if you have C0 Zhongli, you are perfectly fine. Right now, if MC didn't exist, then, it would suck not having 2 pillars or something like that. But the fact that MC can fill the 3 geo-construct gap makes it really, really nice, for you to, not have C1. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be like, oh, well, I mean, you say it's not that big a deal, but it kind of is. I know people are going to have the differences in opinion. That's okay. But from someone that played C0 Zhongli in Abyss and fought world bosses and weekly bosses with it, and then me doing that all again with C6, I can tell you it's not the biggest difference in the world, especially when you look at other characters who have all of their damage based off of their constellations. Like, I think D-Luke, right? D-Luke, he gets extra damage here. He gets extra damage here. Extra damage here. like almost all of his constellations are extra damage. So a character like that is a lot more prevalent in needing it than a character where a lot of his constellations are utility, I guess you could say. Because most of this stuff is just utility, which Zhongli is innately not a main DPS of type of unit. Like dropping another pillar allows you to extend the resonance, nothing too crazy. Giving shield, utility, that's +3, which is whatever. Petrification for longer, utility, that's +3 on his ult. And then right here, like none of these giving him extra damage. So yeah, but anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment down below, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.